with the moon. I'm not sure what I should make first, the hat or the moon. Let me make the moon first because I think that's going to be easy. And I'm going to make them all and keep my string attached. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. I'm going to join them together right here like this. I don't want to use the magic ring. Is that enough? Maybe I need to do 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to make the moon first. We're working on the crescent moon. Okay, so I'm going to work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that enough? Yeah, that's enough. Okay, so I'm going to turn. I'm going to turn here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's see here. 1, 2, and 3. Do we already have a moon? We already have a moon. Look at this. We already have a moon here. How about that, guys? We already have a moon. Okay. And so we've got a moon. And so I'm going to continue working on my moon here. You can see it's crescent-shaped moon here. And so I turned, and so I'm going to work 3 in the edge, in the end. And then this time I'm going to work 1 single crochet. We're working on the moon here. If anyone has any questions or anything about this. We are working on the moon, and I am working on a crescent moon, like in my video that I posted earlier. And then someone wrote me and they said, oh, you're AI, you can't do this. It's like, oh my gosh, if I'm AI, I am the best of AI when it comes down to it. I am better than AI when it comes to crocheting. Or AI is really, really good that it can do this much. I mean, I am so flattered being AI that you think I'm AI, and I am that good to be able to do this. After a while. Hello, Anya. After a while. What happened after a while? Okay, so I'm working on the moon right now. I'm working on the crescent-shaped moon, and technically my moon is done. I had the moon done here in less than, oh my goodness, I want to get my hook in here. I got to do 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and so do you see the moon here, the crescent-shaped moon? We got a crescent-shaped moon there. And so what I'm going to do right now, this is all the bigger I want to make my moon right now. And so how many minutes have I been on here? 4 minutes. Oh, you're calling this art? Why, thank you so much. This is what I used to do as free form. I'm going to tell something. Does anyone remember Hurricane Ike and the free form and a doily during Hurricane Ike? That's all I'm going to say right now. Oh my gosh, I miss my doily that I had with Hurricane Ike and the freeform. Maybe I will do some freeform, and it's so interesting to think that they had a freeform TV at one time. You're calling crochet artwork? It is artwork. I agree. I always agreed that with people when they said crochet is artwork. Okay, so what I want to do right now is I'm just going to secure this. I'm going to run this through so it doesn't come apart too much. Or no, what am I going to do? I got to do something so it, let me secure it back here because I'm not going to actually complete the hat that I'm going to make. I'm not going to complete any of this. I just wanted to show, we don't want to do that because then it looks too much. I need to secure my thread on the back here a little bit. I'm just going to secure it because I said what I said is I'm just using the same skein of yarn. This is nothing new for me. I always used the same skein of yarn. Oh, goodness sakes. Okay, so let's just, I'm going to slip stitch one more time right here. Okay, so I've completed my moon. You see that? We have got a moon right here, and it looks just like the one on my video earlier that I made. You see that? And then someone says, "You are not a real person. That's AI. You can't make that stuff." And I thought, well, why can't I? I mean, you're right. If I was a robot, I don't think a robot would be able to make it. But anyway, there's the moon, and I'm going to make a small hat. It's not going to be a large hat, but I'm setting my moon aside. Well, let's set it up here. I'm just going to set it aside, and so I'm going to start in the middle here. And, oh, I don't need to set aside that much thread. Do I? No, I don't need to set aside that much, but we're just going to let it set right there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach a slip knot to my crochet hook here. Just like that. Now I'm going to set this yarn aside right there, and I'm going to start making a hat. I probably should just go on ahead and cut it because I have a feeling that I'm going to end up with this part getting in the way, and I'm not going to like that. I might cut it actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're just going to be making a small hat. It's not going to be very big. Okay, so what I'm going to make is 6. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and cut this. I wanted to save it, but this isn't, it's so small. We're going to set you aside over here. Okay. Otherwise, that's going to annoy the heck out of me to no end. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, it's a crescent. I don't even understand how these work. 8, 9, 10. Okay, let's just stop right there at 10. That'll work. So I'm going to work the continual around. So I'm going to work, if I counted right, I don't think I counted right though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So we've got 2 rounds done right there. So my crescent moon is sitting there waiting for the hat. And so, like, if I wanted to do this right there, I've got a crescent moon and a full moon. Do you see that? Pretty cool. Crescent moon and a full moon. If I wanted to use a full moon, I just completed a full moon there. But I'm going to, what are you going to do with these? I don't know. I'm going to unravel all of this. Once I'm done, I'm going to unravel it. This, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Probably unravel it and wrap it back around my skein of yarn. So this time I'm going to be working so I have 30 stitches on my hat. So I'm going to work 1 and then increase in the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I have to unravel some yarn. 8, 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. Oh, we came up really good. I can see here still at the beginning. It's pretty good. We're at a diagonal, it's still flat, and that's good. So what are you going to do with these? And what's the width? Okay, right now, I'll tell you what the width is. The width right now with 3 rounds is 2.5. Let's go across the center. It's right at 2.5 inches. It is 6.5 centimeters. That's right about what it's at. Yep, they're really close here. Inches and centimeters. It's just shy of 6.5 centimeters. That's what it is for 3 rounds. I'm using a size J 10 6mm crochet hook to crochet with, and I am using 4-ply worsted weight yarn. And so, okay, so this looks pretty full right now, so I'm just going to go on around and crochet 30 for round 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And one thing I want to say about a size J hook, that's a large hook. That's a larger hook. But it works pretty well. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Okay, I've got to unravel some yarn from my skein. What am I on? 26? That's where I landed. That's where I landed my hook. It's like they say like they were always saying, that's where I'm going to land my plane. On TikTok, they were always saying that. And that's where I'm going to land my plane. That's where I landed my hook. 27, 28, 29, 30. So when they were having their debates on TikTok, that's what they said. That's where they were going to land their plane. So I did 4 rounds right now. So 4 rounds for me with a size J crochet hook. We are at 8 centimeters. 8 centimeters. Well, let me make sure I'm across the center. Yeah, 8 centimeters. That looks pretty good for 8 centimeters. Well, let me go over in the center of the screen a little bit more. Let me go over here. 8 centimeters is where we're at. 8 centimeters. 3 1/4. It looks like 3 1/4 inches. Just shy. 3 1/4 inches. It looks like it's a little bit over 3¼ inches, whatever the next one is after that. Okay, so that's still a lot here. I'm going to go around one more time. I'm probably going to start get a little, I'll probably start getting a little bit curving. So I'm still going to have 30 on here for round 5. I should be writing this down in case I forget, but I know I've got one, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds. So I'm working on my 5th round, working on with the continual spiral round. 1, and something I've always said too is it shifts. So right here I can see the beginning right here, and it shifts in this direction. It shifts in a curve, the round does with the continual round. So number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, so I've got, it's starting to curl up a little bit. That's what I wanted because it was getting kind of flat, so I want to do a gradual curve in there. King Arthur, Camelot, didn't he do what? King Arthur, Camelot? What did King Arthur, Camelot do? Oh, you're talking about the consent from the king? Is that what you're referencing, is the king's consent for some, I don't know. I mean, do you guys want to call it the commie fornication? I mean, that's what everybody's calling it, the commie fornication related to California, that we're tired of California. And so this round I need 40. So I'm going to work 2 single crochet individually. That's 1, 2, and then increase 3, 4. So the increase is working 2 single crochet in the same stitch. Individual, 5, 6, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 7, 8. So I should have 8. Okay, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40. Oh my gosh, look at that. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have, is that right? 6 rounds we got. So we have 40. Yeah, I must have did that. So let me read the questions. You missed the joke. It goes like King Arthur Camelot, didn't he? Oh, I thought you were talking about the King Arthur and the permission for other things. What about the other what, Tara? What are we? The crescent moon. Okay, so we're on 6 rounds here, and okay, so the inches are, we're right close to 4 inches here, a little bit over 4 inches, 4 1/4 it looks like, And then we are right at about 10 centimeters. Oh, yeah, I remember that. I always remember that 10 centimeters and a little over 4 inches and 10 centimeters is about the same. So you can see here between 20 to 30, 10 centimeters. Do you see that? Upside down, do you see if we're looking at that? So 4 centimeters. We really should have centimeters below or something on a ruler so we can see them at the same time. I used to have a bunch of tools and things that I don't have anymore. But see, if I was done, do you see that? Doesn't that look just like the AI one earlier? There's the moon on the, even though I'm not done with the hat, I'm at 6 rounds, and I said I was going to make a hat that it's going to go on. So this is a good size for a baby hat right now. If you took it on around, perfect size for a baby hat. Newborn. If that's something you like doing. Okay, so what I am going to do is work 40. I'm not going to increase this round, so we're working on round 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so I need to pull out some more yarn. We have a yarn monopoly in the United States too. Did you guys know that? I wrote that on it. He was talking about that some of these companies, and he said that there's getting to be less and less places, and I wrote and I said, yeah, we basically have a yarn monopoly. I didn't realize that, but we do. We have a yarn monopoly, and a lot of them will just get yarn and slap a label. It's kind of like the generic thing. You slap a label on it and call it your own yarn. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40. Okay, so 40. That's a perfect size for infant toddler, if I remember myself correctly from my past YouTube life. That's right about where we're at. So now is kind of where I quit counting. Well, I still count my stitches. I'm at 40, 1, 2, 3. So I think that this next round is going to be my last round of increases. I don't know if it will fit your head or not. I have absolutely no idea, Anya, how big your head is. And so, I was going to say something, and now I'm having a little bit of a brain fart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work 3, 1, 2, 3, and then increase 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. Oh, got to pull out some yarn. So 40 is about a good size for a child, toddler size. I think up to 70, 80 is about for adult size. 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Now this hat won't fit me, but it's going to be for a child, probably a toddler size. I'd like to order about 40-inch side-by-side hats for me. You so much. Okay. I don't do hats for orders. I know you guys have done this before, but I don't make hats for orders. I mean, you know, we've had this happen before where people have said they wanted something for an order and they don't actually follow through. And so that's too much work. And oh my gosh, with the tariffs, for crying out loud, that the price of yarn for hats is going to be entirely too expensive. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to crochet on around now, and we're going to make what everybody used to call the bowl look. It turns up. The sides are going to turn up. So you can already see how it's turning up there. You see that? It's already turning up. And we're just going to keep on going around for several more rounds until it turns up. So I should be able to do this because I did the 1,000. I think this is going to have less. I'm positive this is going to have less than 1,000 stitches in it. And I did the other video when I did the 1,000 stitches, I think in less than an hour. So I think I should be able to finish this off here. Just like this. We're just going to keep doing single crochet. I'm not counting anymore because I'm working in a spiral in the continual round. Working single crochet. So if you're new and you want to learn how the single crochet works, you just put your hook below these two little, oh, do we see them? Do those two little stitches just like that and work a single crochet. Put them under here. Sometimes there's little, you know, patterns and things that you might want to go through one, and then you have a little bar down there. But I'm going through below both the bars, and you can see they're a V sort of shape and two vertical. Well, it's a loop bar is what it is. And I'm going below them, and we're continuing on around towards. When I look at this, I'm going to the left and right at the same time. Now, let's process that. I'm going to keep doing this. I need to unwind more yarn. But I am working to the left and the right at the same time. This has always been fascinating to me when I watch myself. I am working the left and the right at the very same time. And it's kind of fun to think about that. Not many people think about that, but probably I'm thinking, but I do. Because I'm watching myself here. I'm going to the left and the right at the very same time. Do you see how this works? And it's a really fun concept to think about. It's really powerful when you're working. It's the same thing when you're cutting with scissors. Okay, that's a good analogy. Very good analogy for coming up with that. When you're cutting with scissors, you're going to the left and the right at the same time, no matter what hand you use. If you're using left-handed scissors, you're going to be going... With this, I'm going to the left. If you're a left-handed person cutting with right-handed scissors, you're going to be cutting to the right, and your work is going to be going to the left. So my work is going, I'm crocheting to the left, my work's going to the right. Now, if I was left-handed, I would be crocheting to the right, and my work would be going to the left. And so it's if I decide to do, let's say I decide to do the reverse single crochet, then I would do the opposite like this. I'm doing the reverse single crochet, and even with my right hand now, I reversed and I'm going to the left. I'm crocheting to the right with my right hand. You see that? Beautiful edging here. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so let's yank this out, and we're going to keep on going. We're going to keep on going around. This is probably a hat that's for a toddler slash child, small child's head, we're going to say. And we've got our crescent moon here. And so this is, I don't know if the person who wrote this was challenging me. Now, some of the things that I have used are very, very elaborate crochet. You know, now, if I was in a different place, I'd probably try to challenge myself. It's very, some of the stuff is, I'd love to make it. But I have limited resources where I'm at right now. That's all I'll say. But I just have limited resources. Okay, let me see here. Ma'am, I'd like to, okay, I'm getting my baby to you if you ever birth one. Wait a second. I'm getting my baby to you if I ever birth one, and please make one for your baby. Okay, so you're suggesting that you want to give me your baby? Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to give me your baby? I don't know why you'd want to do that. So you just want to give your baby away? I mean, that's very bizarre that you want to do that. Why you'd want to give your baby to me. So just because I'm making a hat now, you're telling me that you want to give me your baby? So I have a baby to put the hat on? That seems so strange. Oh, goodness sakes. Okay, so we are working on single crochet. We have 50, and I'm working on 50 on this round, but I'm not counting right now because I'm at a point where I don't need to count anymore. But I'm just sitting here watching myself working. I mean, it's powerful when you think about it. When you can do something with your little hands in the grand scheme of the whole earth, and I am going in two directions at the same time. Think about that. I mean, just think about, process that, going in two directions at the same time, and I am. It's kind of fun to think about it. Just something so small and so minute in my hands. This is kind of like a science experiment too, I always thought, because I always called crochet engineering. And, you know, I would always say that I was able to reverse engineer. Not everybody can do it, and a lot of people say it's not something they love doing. They don't love crocheting that much, and I've always found that acceptable to people who, who say they do things casually. That's, all of us have things we do casually. And, I understand people when they get burnt out on things like that. And so, okay, I'm going to have to pull out more yarn. My hat is turning out a little bit bigger than I thought it was going to be, actually. I'm really surprised at this. But I always like the single crochet. You're a 204 months old baby, so it should fit you. Hand it over. How old is a 204 months old baby? I don't have a calculator to do the math. You're going to be one of those ones who says you're 8 years old again. Is that how old it is? Let's see, 24 is 40. That's 8, 9. I don't have a calculator, and it's too late in the evening for me to do that much math in my head to figure out how many years that is. Okay, so I'm just continuing on around here. Oh, you're 17 years old. Okay, so I'm not going to be figuring up, oh my gosh, imagine those of us who are really old. We could be over 1,000 months old. I just thought of that. That would be something kind of fun to figure. What age we are when we turn 1,000 months old. Oh, some of you should be able to do that now. How old are we when we turn 1,000 months old? Or do we ever? Do we ever turn 1,000 months old? I think we do. I think it's realistic for us to be 1,000 months old. And actually, I've always kind of said too, it would be, imagine if we had celebrated our birthday once a month. Okay, I'm going to have a, that's 83 years old, or 1,000 months is 83 years old. Oh, interesting. 83 years old. So it is realistic to achieve 1,000 months old. That would be kind of a fun thing for people who are 83 years old to wish them their 1,000 month anniversary or birthday. They're 1,000 months old. It would kind of be a new trend, and you know, old people like to be included with things too. That's one thing I'll say. I always knew that my whole life, you know, but it's something that, you know, right now, you know, it's like everybody wants to be included, though. You know, not old people understand that as we age, we're not included as much with things. But, you know, when I was a kid, I always knew my grandparents liked seeing me. And, you know, so everybody's, usually most grandparents do. I mean, the average life expectancy is 74 for women. We lose 7 years of our life due to extreme pollution. It literally takes 7 years. Oh, extreme pollution. I don't know. I would like to go someplace else where there isn't as much pollution, you know, carbon fumes and stuff like that, because I mean, it doesn't make you feel good, that's for sure. So you won't face 1,000 months. Oh, because you're female, you won't face 1,000 months. I don't see why anybody can't. You know, there has been people who have smoked cigarettes, and so when you're smoking, you're inhaling all that carbon fumes and everything. So I don't think that there is any rhyme or reason as to how old a person lives. I just don't think there is. I mean, there are people who have said they have done some things that they think is terrible. I don't think it's so terrible, but they think it is. And they have lived to be very, very old. So, most possibly, there's always exceptions. Well, I was watching a video, I think it was on YouTube, of this woman who was like 109 years old today. And I think she said that she was alive when Woodrow Wilson was president. It was really kind of interesting. It was just a short story. It wasn't very long or anything like that. And so I always thought it would be fun to live to be 100 years old. At one time, I thought, you know, I could take care of myself and be coherent, or, you know, have the means to be able to, you know, do some things. And, you know, but we're finding out that things are challenging, and I don't think they should be. I don't, and I'll just stop there with that. Okay, so we are going to continue on around. This hat is turning out a lot larger than I thought it was going to be. So it is still a child size hat, probably a toddler to small child, youth, small child size. So it's going to be anywhere from a toddler to maybe a 4-year-old kid, possibly. That's what I'm thinking this size is. That's the size hat we're working on. Hello, Alex Mitchell. Thank you. And I'm just continuing on around here. And so we've got a little bowl shape going on. That's what people always used to call it, a bowl shape. We are very close to 17 years old. Uh, are you talking about your YouTube channel? Are you talking about the age? If that's the case, I'm not even 2 years, I'm not even 2 years old yet. If you're talking about age, with this YouTube channel I'm on, I'm not even 2 years old yet. If we're talking about our YouTube channel ages, I know some of you are doing that. You count your that's why I kind of wish I had my original YouTube channel and I'd be 20 years old. And that's what I would be, is 20 years old. But it doesn't matter because technically for a long time, everybody on YouTube was underage because YouTube just turned 20 years old. So YouTube wasn't even old enough to be on the internet on its own platform. It was that immature. And I think that's why they said that the Google guys, they hired an old man. What was his name? Eric Schmidt. So they had Eric Schmidt because they said they wanted to have an older man be the CEO until the other two guys grew up some, because they wanted to be taken seriously. And so when Larry Page and Sergey Brin were younger, they said they wanted their CEO to be a mature person, who was going to look like they take things seriously. And so I don't know what happened to Larry Page and Sergey Brin, where they went. If they sold out of Google or if they still work for Google. I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea what happened to them. I know, so I have no idea what happened to Steve Chen and Chad Hurley. I don't know what happened to them either. Well, I think they sold out of YouTube and they went someplace else. And they opened up another tech company. And so these guys, when they have lots of money like that, they just go on and open up tech companies in other places. I think they said the YouTube guys, Chad Hurley and Steve Chen, I think they said they opened PayPal and then they came over to YouTube. So they've always just had loads and loads of money. You're very close to 17 years old. But there was also the thing of angel investing. So they had a thing of angel investing for quite some time that I don't know if the banks did it or if Google was out there getting investing from other companies or what was going on. But right now it seems like there's not much investing that's going on. And so we have a big SOS moment taking place in the gig economy right now. And so there's people having meltdowns who have no desire to earn revenue on YouTube. They're having meltdowns because I'm not sure what everybody's going to be going through the meltdown thing right now because of the fact of the burnout. That's what it's called, the burnout, because they have to compete so hard. I hear that's what's happened. And I've experienced that my own self, when you do one topic only and you go at things really, really hard. That's why I like shorts. It's like, my gosh, I don't have to put much effort into shorts. But I always enjoyed doing the long videos too. And I enjoyed having people watching. Because I thought that's how you earn the revenue. You have followers and you have people. They're the ones who support you. Oh, let me put in a shameless plug. If you guys would go on ahead and subscribe, I'd highly appreciate that. It would be great. And so I'm doing just a whole bunch of things that hopefully, a different base of people like watching, And if you can watch, you'll watch based off the interest. And, so I do a combination of humor things, some technology things that's related to the internet. Bad practices, good practices, things that I think work with search engine optimization, things that I think don't work, things that I think shouldn't work, but they do. And oh my goodness, I like I don't like to call them conspiracy theories. I just call them a theory. Now, there's a lot of people who who call things conspiracy theories. Now, a conspiracy is two people in a room committing a crime. That's a conspiracy. A theory is something that's like an opinion. An opinion and a theory are kind of the same thing. So you have a theory about something, which is your opinion about something. And we're all entitled to have an opinion about something, I think. And be able to talk about things. Now, I will say, I was typing on this other guy. We are still in the midst, unfortunately, of censorship right now. Because I was typing on this other guy today, and my comments just started disappearing. So I wasn't even writing anything naughty at all. I just said, this is what I said. Maybe it was naughty. I said, you don't sound like a man who ever wants to be married again. That's what I wrote. And lo and behold, my comment ended up getting censored. And the way he was carrying on, that's how I felt. Was, and it's like, well, we can have a civil discussion, can't we? Where I say, you sound like a man who never wants to be married again. And I thought, that is my opinion of what he was saying. No, I think it's not really similar. An opinion is a personal thought, but a theory is backed by evidence and research. Well, is your personal thought? It's backed by evidence and research, isn't it? So where your personal thought becomes a theory, right? I mean, it's a theory and backed by evidence that human beings think the same way. Either that or we're just all incredibly influenced by the same thing, by education in the United States or around the world. Right? I don't know. I mean, I've often thought that, well, is it backed by evidence that there is kind of a time of day that people decide they like to eat? Such as the morning and the afternoon. The animals like to eat in the morning and in the afternoon. Now, if you feed them all the time, they'll eat all the time. And then there's animals that graze. I mean, and you can even notice that there's a time of day that animals like to eat. Usually that's at night and in the morning. And so it's back. If you go out and you look at the animals, you will see that the animals eat in the morning and they eat in the evening. And during the day, the animals will just be standing, maybe not doing anything, but they'll just be standing there. Okay, this is a pretty darn good hat right now. Do you see this? We got our moon interstellar hat. Look at this. We got it. We did it. Do you see that? Oh, you eat all the time? Oh my goodness. You eat all the time? I don't eat all the time. $1 million hat. That it would be great if I could. Yeah, if it would be $1 million hat. It could be. If I got if I got enough views one day, it could be $1 million hat maybe. That's pretty cool, interstellar. But I thought, well, I'm going to tie it into the James Webb telescope because I like science. I like the stuff that our government does related to science and the telescopes and things like that. And I thought, I'm going to tie it into that and call it an interstellar moon hat. And so then I'm going to just have a little bit of fun with it. And so I could just quit right now. I could, what am I at? 49, 50 minutes here. And so I'm just making it a little bit larger. I'd be a little more cool if the crescent was different color and then you attach it to the hat. So pretty. Yeah, that's true. Um, if it was yeah, right now we have, well, one of my hats was, that would be cool right there. If it was a different color. But we can see it. I mean, I achieved it, didn't I? You know, so the person who wrote, oh, that's AI. You can't make that stuff. And you know what? In hindsight, I'm thinking about, okay, this is what I'm thinking about. There was these people, I don't know who they were, but they gave me this pattern. And so, because I was always having, they knew I struggled with the copyright Nazis. They're always going to be called the copyright Nazis. And right now, I think they keep me, right now, I think there's something that keeps me away from the copyright Nazis anymore. Oh, you've got to go? Okay. Well, thanks for chit-chatting. And so, anyway, the copyright Nazis, so I'm gonna work the reverse single crochet around. And so they gave me this pattern to look at. In fact, and they also gave me, or they also told me about the software, because I used to have this chart software that was made by a NASA astronaut. And I thought, well, that is really cool. That I didn't realize that I used to have this chart. I don't have it anymore, but I used to have this chart program that made charts and stuff for patterns. And so, and then and so they said that it was a NASA astronaut, a woman, who made it. And I thought, well, that's really, really cool. And so there was one Saturday morning, there was like 2 or 3, maybe 4 different people who sent me this pattern. They asked me what the name of it was. They asked me if I could do it. And then they asked me what the name was. And I said, well, I think it's the star stitch. And they said, no, it's not the star stitch. And so I started working on it, and I came up with something. I called it the galaxy stitch. I said it kind of looks like a snowflake, and the galaxy, I called it the galaxy stitch. And then I said it had the little, now I'm wondering if that was AI that made it. And if they made something and I was actually able to make something out of it, because I'd never really seen anything made out of it before. And then I started like going to town at it because I'd never seen anything in any of the crochet books before. I thought, well, this is really cool, but I never thought of it that it would be AI. And right now I'm thinking maybe it was. Maybe NASA had something that they were coming out with, and they were kind of playing around with us to see if we could come up with stuff from pictures that was made by AI. And I'm going to say most definitely we can. You know, and I deviate back to the prototype. We go back to the prototype, and it's like, who cares that there's crochet all over it and it's going in wrong directions? Who cares? If you can make something from that, be proud of yourself. It doesn't have to look identical, because when they have those great big fancy cars that Detroit or wherever they make the cars at nowadays, when they parade those cars around, they're prototypes. You know, like Elon Musk parading his car around. One day there's probably going to be a car similar to whatever his Tesla is. Maybe there's going to be a brand in the future. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe there will, maybe there won't. Or maybe the name will be completely different. But he's parading around some prototype of something. And that's really, really expensive, because that's how it always starts out. Prices are supposed to come down, not keep going up. That's the thing that I find confusing to me right now, is the prices that continue to just go up. Because I was always told once something gets out in the market and the market's saturated, that prices come down. That's not happening in the world that we're in right now, and what's going on. We have this massive inflation taking place, and you know, so something is not working right. And there's millions of us saying that, thousands at the least, saying that that's what's happening with our economy right now, that it's not working how it should be working. and there's something wrong. And so I don't know. Okay, so that looks, I like that. So I did the reverse single crochet there. And then we put our, there we have it. There we got it right there. You see that? And that looks very similar to one that I did. I just didn't do the three-dimensional one. So which is the plushie moon that was on one of them. I didn't do that one, but I had two. I liked the rainbow one too on that was on there. So you can get excellent ideas, you know. So so if you're going to use AI for, you know, any of them for a pattern, tell it that you want something simple. I like the ones that are challenges because that's just me. You know, if I was in a different place right now, I would be making the one that has the three-dimensional on it, the one that has the stuffy moon on it, because I think that would be fun to make too. It's just that I mean, my gosh, I think I left behind like probably 50 hats that I never got, 50 hats or more that I had. And then I can't think of how many more I gave away. They probably just got thrown away, which is kind of sad to think about it. I used to make hats for homeless people, and then I'm thinking, oh my gosh. They were always asking for hats for homeless people. And it's like, homeless people need a home. I always thought that too, though. I thought if there is a real need for homeless people, or I was just thinking, or are people just asking for hats? I didn't know, between the two of them, I didn't know. But I just often thought, well, that's all I have to offer. I don't have any money. I'm not a bazillionaire. And then I started seeing through some scams that were taking place on the internet, and it's like, wait a minute, there's something here that ain't quite right. And then I stopped making hats and giving them away because some people started saying, well, that's demeaning to someone who's homeless to give them hats. And I thought, okay, that's fine. I can accept that. I'll just scale back and I won't use that trend anymore. What else are we missing? Well, then people started telling me what was really going on, and it's like, okay, well, it's inflation. That's what we got is inflation here. And so inflation is making everybody homeless. And so, and this is all I have right now is the internet to talk about this. There's a lot of people who are homeless. There's many different types of homelessness across the United States. If you're living with someone else and you can't afford a home, you can't afford an apartment because you don't have a job, technically, in a roundabout sort of way, that violates your constitutional rights. And this is where the corporations are violating your constitutional rights. And inflation, your own government, the United States of America is violating your civil rights by letting inflation take place. And so the president right now is violating your civil rights. I don't see it any other way. Economic inflation is a violation of our civil rights. So, that's all I'll say about that right now. But I've put up my argument. And I will say I'm not an attorney. There's other people. I was watching some guy tonight. They were calling him an attorney, and it's like, stop pretending that you're an attorney. It just makes the internet look really bad. But he was calling himself an attorney, and it's like, stop doing it. You're not an attorney. You have a right to an opinion, but you're not an attorney just because you have an argument with someone. Attorneys don't argue that way. At least they have half a brain. I think I've never seen a real attorney have a meltdown before, and I don't believe the stuff they put on the internet, because if they put it on the internet, if they showed me an attorney having a meltdown on the internet right now, I'd just say, oh, it's Chat GPT. I don't believe it. Because that's where I'm at right now. I've never seen a real attorney have a meltdown. Even during the O.J. Simpson trial, I don't think any of them had a meltdown. And I was thinking, my gosh, they're rather boring. The things they do and the time that everything took, I thought it's rather boring. I was thinking, couldn't Marsha Clark have been a little bit more animated or enthusiastic or something, but no, she was rather boring. When you think about it, when I think about it, because I was thinking, well, isn't she going to be more animated like the other TV attorneys? No, well, no. I think maybe that was probably the rub there, kind of like now. Now, because it's like when you put that stuff, 20 years of attorneys on TV, and then you have this SUV New York and all these crime shows and all these animated attorneys who just solve cases within an hour, and then it just becomes influencing through weaponizing the courts. That's what's happened now, weaponizing the court system. Who would have thought it would have went in this direction? Never in a million years would I have thought that they were going to do what they did, but they did. And I have no idea who they is. I have no idea who the entity is who did this. To think that our own government, that they would weaponize our own government against us using inflation. And it's been going on for over 100 years. I have one last thing I'm going to say, and then I'm going to go. And I have to keep saying this. In the year 1900, a house cost $3,000 estimated, which right now in the year 2025, that's going to be expensive. So 1,000 square foot house costs $3,000. In the year 2025, that same 1,000 square foot house is now $450,000 to $500,000. So what is the product? What is the product that a person gets when they just raise the price of a house higher? What's the product we get from interest? What's the product, good, or service that we get from interest? And so when we're talking, inflation is a crime right now. Inflation is a crime. What value are we getting from inflation on the American public? The corporations are actually punishing the American public, and they're the problem. I mean, someone is going to have to arrest a whole bunch of CEOs or do something drastic, because what we have going on right now is not working. I don't agree with any of the parties or anything like that. I have not voted for probably 6-8 years now. And I mean, because the thing is, it doesn't matter which side I would vote for. It's not going to matter, because then I'm going to be called all kinds of names on the internet. So you talk about disenfranchisement. That's what we got right now, is disenfranchisement. And it seems like foreign influence has been a big part of it too. I mean, what was all this talk about foreign influence? So in 20 years, a house is going to be $1 million. Does that sound right? In 20 years, think about it. At the rate things are going, a house is going to be like $1 million and rent's going to be like $10,000 a month. Does that sound realistic? I mean, somebody's got to have some answers for this, because it's like, right now, none of this makes any sense to me, because the American people are being punished. And for what? For what reason? Why is this being done? Who is the greedy people who are not helping the American public? And I mean, and it's going to catch up with people on welfare too. I mean, now welfare people will call people on YouTube and say that we're rich. And it's like, really? You don't earn any revenue and you're rich? Oh, you get on YouTube and you do it yourself. You see how easy it is. See if you earn revenue and see if you can get yourself out of welfare, or see if you can do something and then end up losing it all because you had a crappy husband or a man who was abusive to you, physically abusive to you. So, I mean, I'm just baffled here as to what's going on. I mean, this monkey show is crazy out of hand. So I don't even think that crochet is going to last very well because of the fact that the tariffs are so high, the yarn is so expensive. People aren't, there's no way a person can make anything. I'm not going to buy stuff from Canada or from another country, from France or wherever yarn is. Turkey, I think, is where they said it's made. You know, um, I don't have the money to do that. And the price of yarn is just getting higher and higher. I mean, I just don't know who's going to make yarn in the United States. A lot of people have said that they won't do it in here because the yarn does not pass some types of inspections, but yet we bring the yarn into the country anyway. That doesn't make sense to me either. So if the yarn is not suitable for sale or for, I don't know, it makes no sense. You know, that they said the yarn doesn't pass OSHA standards or something like that, or there's some reason, oh, some chemicals or something. There's some chemicals in the yarn that if they produced it in the United States, this is what they're saying now. This is what I've heard, that if they produced it in the United States, it wouldn't pass OSHA standards. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's just something I heard. So I don't know. But right now the yarn is too expensive to actually, I mean, if people were making money selling things at a market or something, it's too expensive. I mean, what is it like? Some of those cake yarns is like $9. That's too expensive. I mean, an Afghan, you're going to be spending $100 just for yarn. There's no way you're going to get your work out of that. No way whatsoever. I mean, the only thing I can think that the arts community is used for money laundering. That's the only thing for money laundering. You got little old ladies on the internet who are money laundering through YouTube and through Etsy and PDF documents, and that's the only thing I can think. So I know some of you are probably saying, oh, she should have ended it earlier, but I just had to say it, you know. Anyway, we'll see you guys the next time.